Hello everypony, Prince Alagorn of Aquilonia here once again, and today I am going to be reviewing Daring Don't, the 4th episode of this new season. You should know this by now, but here's your warning. There will be swearing here. Keep the kids away. You know the deal. Let me start right now by saying the entire fucking premise of this episode is goddamn retarded. What the hell jackalope logic is this? But I guess, to be fair, we should look at things like I did with my Putting Your Hoof Down review from a fairly objective point of view. It's only fair. And besides, nobody likes to see a review that's just a complete and total rant with no reason to it. So, what did I like? Well, let's start with saying that I found the fight scenes to be pretty damn epic. Yeah, there's a lot of action in this episode. And I'm actually a little bit surprised, giving the writer, that a lot of it kind of works. In fact, it works better than it did in the premiere for this season. There's something that I feel I should address first, before continuing on. And that's that while I don't like the premise and the idea of Daring Do being a real pony, that doesn't mean that it's not an interesting idea. Kerouac's novels are self-inserts about him and himself and their road trips. They're biographical in nature. And then you have the entire school of gonzo journalism, which is basically writing reports that are written similar to fictional accounts, although they're real. On a more positive note, we actually have a more in-character Pinky this time. And I absolutely love this gag right here. If you don't know, it shows them going off on an adventure map, and Pinky is marking their trail with red paint the whole damn time. That's hilarious, and that's classic Polsky. And the over-the-top performance for Azawatl is amazing. I wish you could have seen more of him and fleshed him out more, but I love this part. And, well, there's another thing that I absolutely like, and that's the classic gag with the birds around the head of someone kind of thrown loopy at the beginning, and then we have Twilight and Rainbow geeking out and the return of the so awesome face, which is always just so uber cute. Look at it. Look at Rainbow. That's adorable. And then my favorite gag in the entire episode is this one right here, where Daring Do is teasing Azawatl with the ring and making a, you know I love you, but I'd never give you the ring until I propose. And it's Dash's face right here that really sells the gag. Absolutely gut-busting hilarious. And again, classic Polsky. What I didn't like Uh, oh, this is... I am of such mixed mind about this episode because there's a lot of good that I just said that I really love, but part of me wants to absolutely fucking loathe this episode. Let's start with... Daring Do does nothing with the fact that there's an alicorn princess offering to help her. The baddies break Daring Do's leg. Twice. We hear it snap, audibly, twice. She puts it in a splint. And then it's never mentioned again in the entire fucking episode. You can't do that. You just can't. And how the hell does Daring Do know the release dates of her stuff? And also, she's Stone Cold Steve Austin. My question is, why? It's never explored at all. And honestly, I think if it would have been explored, it would have made this part where Daring and Rainbow finally decide to work together have a lot more impact. But it's wasted. And then... oh, yes. Apparently it took Daring Do all of 2 months to completely rewrite the book to insert Dash into it. Huh? Really? 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 Yeah, but what? This one's a little bit debatable depending on how we view Discord and the Pony Sisters, and hence Nightmare Moon. But Ozawaddle is a god, an honest to Celestia Aztec god. So apparently now we have the main six and Daring Do slugging it out with deities. Yeah. This is a thing now. What is this? I don't even... And now we get to the part that really pisses me off. And that's, again, the premise of the episode is a disaster. And it directly contradicts the comics. Namely, this scene from issue 11. And I know Mr. Enter already dismantled this argument in his video, but it still bothers me. See, I think there's a lot of story potential with Twilight's mom being the writer of Daring Do, in that it could be that Dash just finds out about it, because Dash isn't the kind of girl to look at the title page of a book, but instead jump right in, and never notice that it's Twilight Velvet as the writer. Or never bothered to ask if Twilight knew who Akega Yearling is. And then... anyways, where was I? Oh yes, continuing on with my story idea. See, once Dash realizes that Twilight Velvet is the writer of the books, Twilight could have taken her to Canterlot to meet her mom, and then the episode could have been all about Dash fangirling and annoying Twilight Velvet with trying to give her crazy fan suggestions. And we could see Twilight Velvet at the typewriter narrating the story, which appears on screen, similar to how Rainbow was reading the story and it appeared on screen during Read It and Weep. And then Rainbow keeps busting in, giving her suggestions, and then the scene goes all wonky, and then we cut back to Twilight Velvet getting more and more visually pissed off about it and trying to shoo Dash away. And then, in the end, Dash could learn that even though, as a fan, you think your ideas are really good, sometimes you just have to give creators the space to do their work and trust that what they'll give you is actually a decent product. And we could have this by Dash getting the book at the end, reading through it, seeing none of her suggestions in there, but still voting it to be the best book in the series so far. That has a lot of potential, and I think it would fit more Polsky's style of just raw comedy. Because while I like the action scenes, they're not really Polsky's thing. And, yeah. Oh, I also forgot to mention the inaction of the main six earlier. That's been brought up by everyone else, so go watch their vids to see them basically rip that entire idea apart. I mean, but anyways, back to what I was talking about. Yeah, no, we didn't get any of that. Instead, we ended up with this, and all I have to say is sometimes... why do I even bother? And the really sad part is that I actually, like I said, there's things here that I kinda hate, but there's things here that had so much potential. And it just wasn't executed as well as it could have been. So, I guess that means it's time to wrap things up and give you my rating. I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. This isn't a really great episode by any stretch, or really even a good episode by any stretch, but it's not a terrible episode either. It's on the lower end of average. It's just mediocre. I think you should watch it once, but it suffers from what I call Rambo syndrome. It's there to set up a lot of really cool action scenes, like an old 80s action movie. But once you turn your mind back on from all the fisticuffs and explosions and all that good stuff, it all just kind of tumbles apart like a house of cards once you apply some actual critical thinking to it. You're better than this, Dave Polsky. We all know it. You wrote too many Pinkie Pies. You can do better than this. Anyways, bye, and I'll see you next time.